boys and girls. Well, we was gonna go ahead and make the coffin-shaped meatloaf, but you know, the hell with the German accent. I had a wild hair up my butt, and just something happened this afternoon. Can't explain it, and I decided we're gonna try something completely left of center. Don't ask me where this came from or why it came from, but I decided to look up stir fry recipes, and we are going to make hamburger stir fry with this. So we use yellow pepper, red pepper. Oh look, my favorite one, not this one, the aloha pepper. 2 onions. We got a can of diced potatoes. We're going to toss in there. We're going to toss in some diced tomatoes in there. We have water chestnuts. We have bamboo shoots. We have, sorry about that, didn't mean to earthquake drill you. We have bean sprouts. Those go on at the very end, and I'll show you why when we get to the end. And of course, we have baby cut corn. So, we haven't done Chinese in a little bit, and I haven't made my beef and broccoli for you guys yet. So, I said, the hell with it, we'll try it. So, what I'm going to do is a little different with this. You've seen me dice these bad boys up left, right, and center. But this time, we're going to cut them into thinner strips. And when we brown the hamburger, we are also not going to put it into little itty bitty teeny tiny pieces. So we'll get this started up. This one's going to fight me here, so I will turn off here and show you once we've got everything sliced and diced and in the bowl here, and we'll take it from there. All right, so I don't know if you can see this or not. I got all the veggies chopped up here. Got green and yellow, or not green, yellow and red and aloha peppers, onion. Well, most of it's thin sliced. The ends aren't quite as thin as the others, but they'll cook up. One thing I did do a little differently than you've seen me do before is I cut the celery in half, stalks in half lengthwise, and then cut them diagonal shaped, just for something a little bit different. And celery cooks a little bit slower than the other veggies. So since these are bigger pieces, we're going to go ahead and cut them down a little bit smaller into odd shapes to help them cook a little bit more. The thinner ends here will cook faster, and it'll be easier and quicker for it to cook up towards the middle. So that'll help keep it up. The other thing I forgot to show you is we're going to do, I didn't have stir fry sauce. So it came down to General Tso's sauce or sesame sauce. I didn't think General Tso's was quite right for this, so we're going to do sesame sauce and use that for it. So next thing up, I'm going to show you the spices we're going to put onto the hamburger. It's nothing crazy. And unlike I do with my spaghetti sauce, I'm going to leave the hamburger into slightly bigger pieces this time. So it's not quite meatball size, but bigger pieces to to deal with the bigger pieces of vegetable in this. So we'll show you that here in just a sec. And we're back. Okay, so we've got 4.5 pounds worth of the old 80-20. We're going to make a big batch tonight, so since this is kind of a one skillet meal, so we'll get that in there. And of course, we're going to put in with it the instant bouillon for beef. You know it was coming. Garlic and roasted herb, a little bit of the squeezed garlic, salt and pepper, same as we usually get in. And I thought I'd try a little of the sweet and smoky as we set the hamburger up and get that going. So after that, we'll go ahead and add the sesame sauce and the veggies and get that all combined and cooking together. And while that's going, I'm going to throw up some instant rice. Because, you know, if you're doing Chinese, you got to have a little bit of rice. And since I'm not doing fried rice soup, We'll just do a little bit of sticky steam rice. So let that roll. We'll show you the frying pan cam in just a minute. All right, yes indeed, ladies and girls, ladies and boys and girls, ladies and gents, whatever. It's late at night, sorry. You've seen it before. It's the frying pan cam, backed by popular demand. Actually backed because that's the way we're cooking it, so you don't have a choice. You can do this if you've got a wok. You can actually do it in a wok. Unfortunately, with the glass top stove top, as you'll recall that we have, doesn't really lend itself to a wok well. Tried a couple different things with it, and it just never has worked right. So I sacrifice and we do the Tenifu a little differently. That way, this way. So get this going up. Oop. There we go. Heat's coming. So while we're waiting on the heat, we'll go ahead and put some garlic down on it. If you've watched the show before, you know I love me some garlic. Whole family is a garlic family. Vampires beware, don't come up here. So, other one we're going to do right off the get-go, and I'm kind of sad about this. See if I can mash this up a little bit. Is my bouillon seems to have stuck together. I must have gotten some steam or something in here at one point. So, dump the rest of the bouillon in there. I'd say it's probably about a tablespoon and a half. For those of you trying to keep measure. Now this we're going to dump on. This is going to be more like probably a tablespoon and a half, 2 tablespoons of the garlic and herb. That's the end of that bottle. With salt and pepper. Not so much pepper. We've got a little bit of pepper in there. There we go. Good amount of salt. And this is sweet and smoggy. And probably about a tablespoon and a half of that. And you remember my old buddy, the hamburger chopper. So you can break this up a little bit. Get it moving around the pan. Listen to that sizzle. Oh, we're going to brown some burger tonight. So, this is a total pull out of left field, so honestly guys, I have no idea how it's going to turn out. It smells good. It's going to taste a little bit like it smells, huh? It's all chopified. Oh, you smell it sweet and smoky right off the get-go. Love that. I'll add a little flavor to it. I'm going to do one other thing, because if you cook Chinese food, you know that by the time you add the soy sauce and all the rest of it, some of you have heard that MSG thing, but there's always a little bit of salt that's in there. So much as I like the salt, I'm going to cut it back a hair. Just a little surprise on this. So Sheriff was talking to me about adding a teaspoon of sugar. I think what I'm going to do in place of that is something. This whole recipe is out of left field, so I'll do something a little out of left field and add some raw honey instead. So, take that here. Not a whole lot. There we go. Alright. That's going to be a little persnickety. So we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. Not this way. Come on. Little bugaboo. There you go. One more block. There we go. Okay. So that's probably 2 teaspoons of honey. Let's see how that does in shaping things up. Oh. And let's move this around a little bit. Get the rest of it browned up. Oh, smells so good. Love the smell of garlic. Probably should have been an Italian chef or something. Yeah. I'd have been fired if I was working in Dracula's castle. Wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes out there. Alright, so we're going to brown this up, and then I'll show you throwing the veggies in and setting the getting the sesame sesame sauce in, and we'll be good to go. All right. Oh my goodness, look at all the veggies we got in here. We have added in the tomatoes, the potatoes, the corn, the bell peppers. Down in here are the onions and the celery. That's right, the celery. And we got the water chestnuts and the bamboo shoots. And we're going to mix it all up. Oh, yes, we are. Not going to add the sesame sauce just yet. Whoop. Lost that one. Bamboo shoot overboard. There's a lot in here. Oh, yes. Get a big meal out of this one. But this should leave us some leftovers for tomorrow for lunch. Maybe for some dinner tomorrow. We will see. I got a long day ahead of me tomorrow. So not a bad idea to take some leftovers with me. So, all right, so I'm going to set the pan on medium heat here. We don't want to overcook anything. And we're going to put the lid on it and let it cook up for a little bit. So, let that cook up, get the veggies all nice and rendered down. And remember, I said we're holding out the bean sprouts for the end. The reason we do that is if you put bean sprouts in now, even if you put them in at the last minute or a few minutes of cooking, what you're going to end up with is little shriveled pieces of string, which really kind of sucks in Chinese food. So we wait until it's done cooking, when it's still hot and still get a little bit of oomph behind it. We'll throw them in then. Come back here, see how the veggies are doing, and then add the sesame sauce. All right, we're back. You can see the everything's cooking away here. The veggies, the onions are getting nice and limp, and you don't want to overcook them. The peppers are cooking up right nice. We're going to go ahead and add the sesame sauce into this. So, 1 bottle. This is a 13.5 ounce bottle. Take a little water and put down in there. And a little trick here. Shake it up. You can tell that stuff's pretty good and thick. But put a little water in, shake it up, and stir it and mix it in. And that way, you get the most out of your bottle when you go to use it. So you know, sticking in there anywhere. Let's stir this up and see if this coats everything pretty good. If not, we got a second bottle we're going to dump in here. Uh-oh. And that is the sound of Mama baking pumpkins. for pumpkin pie and doing a little bit of canning. So actually she's going to freeze it. So yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and add that second jar in, but we're going to let this cook up for a minute and see how that goes. Leave it open so it cooks some of the steam out on this. And we will be back. Alright, so while we're letting that simmer and slow down a little bit, for the rice it's real simple. Take equal amounts of rice and water, bring the water to a boil, dump the rice in, cover it, turn the heat off before you dump the rice in. Cover it, take it off the heat, and let it sit for about 5 minutes, and you just go fork it back up. So not real hard. I put 4 cups of rice in another similar one. Put 4 cups of water of this in, set it up to boil, and we're good to go. Alright, here we go. Last of the good stuff is in. The bean sprouts are in. Don't tell them, but since we got everybody in this house loving bean sprouts, I used my entire supply, both cans, on this. So lots of bean sprouts in here. Everybody will be happy. So get this all churned up. See how it's still nice and hot. Then you add the bean sprouts in here, and that way you do not have little things that deflate down to little strings. And that, ladies and germs, is going over a bed of rice. And there you have Hamburger Stir Fry. Enjoy.